let's get started. Hi guys, it is me, Helena, and I am back for another Wednesday, and today is going to start the first week in my back to school series for the month of August. So week one, as I said last week, is going to be a Q&A. So it's going to be a back to school themed Q&A, so I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get into the video. What are you most looking forward to in sophomore year? I am most looking forward to either advanced physical fitness, because I have that this year, and in advanced we're allowed to use weights and stuff, and I love strength training, so I'll have a lot of fun with that. And also just being with my friends again and having more opportunities to like hang out with my friends and do stuff. So what advice would you give to an incoming freshman going to Weaver? Stick to who you are, but that's my advice for pretty much everybody. Stick to who you are and organize and have a planner. I didn't have a planner for like the first half of the school year because I really had never had a planner, and I always forgot homework, or I would forget a test, or I would forget rehearsals, and well, I forgot rehearsals the second semester, but anyways, I would forget rehearsals, I would just forget things, and I actually started using like the Google Calendar on my phone. What did you miss the most over break? I missed socializing with people. I think the one thing like with me is I miss the most socializing, just because over the summer, like especially with my parents, their company gets really busy, and summer is kind of one of the seasons with their company where they're working all the time, so I'm constantly having to take care of my siblings, and I just don't really get to go do stuff. Also, just because the things that my friends do, I'm not really allowed to do, so I just can't go hang out with my friends, but at school I can socialize. So yeah. Is your energy drink collection going to expand, and when will it stop? Yes, my energy drink collection is going to expand. If you don't know what my energy drink collection looks like, add me on Snapchat and I will post it on my story the day I upload this video. But yes, and I will probably stop at 100 cans, and right now I think I'm at like 50. So I have a bit of a ways to go, but I have it like organized. Like, don't worry, it's not like all over my room. I'm actually looking at it right now, and it actually looks kind of cute in my room. So I'll probably like put another one of those, and you'll see on my Snapchat story what I'm talking about. But I'll probably put another one of those like right beside it, or just somewhere else in my room. So yeah, it'll be fun. Do you hate any of the people you're about to start school with? I don't hate people. There are people I strongly dislike, or people that I just don't like in general, but I don't really hate people. But yes, there are people that I don't like that I'm about to go to school with, but everywhere you go, there's going to be people you don't like. Have you ever thought about leaving Weaver? Yes, I did during first semester, and actually right before I even started Weaver, I thought about leaving because of like some stuff, but I made the right choice and I stayed, and I'm really glad I made that choice because I made a lot of really close friends that I trust a lot, which are kind of hard to come by. 7. Are you excited to do advanced physical fitness? Yes, I am. I am really excited. I had PE last year, and well, like every freshman had PE, but it was mostly like games and stuff, and there wasn't a whole lot of like actual like physical workouts. There were more just games like that we were learning, or like sports that we were learning. But like at my old school in middle school, we had like hardcore workouts every single day, and our like PE lasted all year. Like at PE at my high school, it was only a semester long because we were on block schedule, but at my old school in middle school, if you got PE, especially in middle school because it was an elective, if you got advanced PE, which that was really the only kind of PE there was. If you got advanced PE, then you were there every day for the entire year, if I'm remembering correctly. I think, yeah, that's how it was. So, we were working hard like every single day. Every single day there was a warm-up, and I still remember the warm-up to this day. It varied like every once in a while, but most of the time it was 100 jumping jacks, pipe stretch, butterfly stretch, and I think lunges, and it was like very intense, and then we ran a mile, and that was our warm-up. And then like there would be like different workouts that he would make us do, and then like if our PE teacher got mad at us, he would make us sprint on the soccer field and had to get down and back in like 18 seconds, and if you didn't make it, we had to just keep going until everybody made it. And there was this one time in 6th grade, and I'll never forget it, because I don't think I've ever met like a group of kids or like a class or a grade that ever did this. Like even my grade didn't do this when we got into 8th grade, but in 6th grade we were allowed to be in advanced PE with the 7th and 8th graders, or with the 7th and 8th graders. But then as it progressed, it was 6th grade had advanced PE, and then 7th and 8th grade were separate. But in 6th grade I had advanced PE, and I had not signed up for it. I didn't really want to do it, but I actually really liked my PE teacher, and I've always liked working out, so I actually ended up having a lot of fun, and it made me want to work out even more. But anyways, there was this one time we were doing sprints, and we had like 11 sprints to do, and they were like back to back. It was like once you got back, you had like a 5-second break, and you restarted again. Like rest periods were just not in our PE class, and we were not getting it, and we were on like sprint 10, so we had 2 more to go, and we were on sprint 10 for about, I want to say 15 minutes. Like we just were not getting it. And it was me, because at the time I was one of the slowest kids, so it was me and one other person, and we just could not get it. So the 7th graders at the time, which for some reason that group of kids, that class, was like 6 feet tall when they were in 5th grade. I don't know what happened. Like after that, everybody was like average size, but that one class was like 6 feet tall in 5th grade and stayed 6 feet tall. So these kids were really tall and kind of intimidating, honestly. And so I specifically remember there being 3 of them, and I'm not going to use their actual names because I just don't know if they would let me, and I don't talk to them anymore. So I'm going to make up names. So it was Sean, Scott, and what's another name? Ryan. We're just going to use those 3 names. So Sean I had actually known from a different class because he had a different elective with me. And then Scott I knew just from around the school because his little sister was in my grade. But then I didn't know Ryan. So Sean and Scott and Ryan all look at each other, and I don't know what they said. I think they said like something around the area of like, we're gonna get them to get this. And they all like looked at each other and in unison stepped out of the line, stepped behind us. So Sean was behind me, Ryan was at the other end because I was on one end, Ryan was at the other end behind someone else, and then what did I name the other one? Scott was in the middle of the line. So they were like spaced out around the line behind us. And all of a sudden, as soon as the PE teacher's bell whistled, all you heard was them behind us, like running right behind us. They were not going to speed up to get in front of us. They were right behind us, and they were not going to slow down for us either. They were running behind us, like screaming at us to hurry up, to go, 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 don't stop, all the way up until the sprint was done. And they did it again for the 11th sprint. And I swear to God, some of us were so terrified. I wasn't terrified, but the other ones were, like, because they were huge. We were like, okay, I have been my height since 7th grade. So in 6th grade, I had to have been like 5 foot flat or 4'11". Like I was really short compared to these 6 foot people. So like it was just, but I've never really met a group of kids to do that. And like if any of us were ever having trouble, like I remember there was this one day, same PE class in 6th grade, where I was just feeling really sick, and I didn't really tell the PE teacher because our PE teacher, like, especially back then, was like no joke. Like, he's kind of eased up over the years, but especially back then, he was no joke. Like, if you felt sick, you felt sick. You needed a doctor's note to get out of it. Very intense class, especially for middle schoolers. So I remember there was this one day we were doing sprints, and again, I just could not get it. And this time, it was me and again another person, but it was a different person, who were just, we felt sick and we just couldn't get the sprints in. And this guy, he was in 8th grade at the time. He was the oldest kid in the class. And I'm not going to use his real name either because I don't think he'll come across this video, but if he does, I don't want him to like be upset at me for using his name. but the GA people that watch this, you might know who it is because I think I've told this story to some people, but I was doing a sprint and this guy was one of the fastest kids in the class, like 4-minute flat mile, like he was really, really fast. And he decides, he's running beside me, and to be completely honest, I kind of had a crush on him at the time. And so I hated that we were in the same PE class because he like saw like how weak I was, because in 6th grade I was really weak. And he's running beside me and we're sprinting, and like he's at the end of the field and I'm halfway down the field. Like I'm not fast enough. And he stops at the end of the field and waits for me to catch up to him and is like clapping me along the whole time. And then I turn around to start the other half of the sprint and he starts running backwards beside me and is like, don't let me beat you, don't let me beat you, going backwards. And he's like not slowing down either. They never slowed down for us. And so he's still going full speed backwards. I don't know how this child was this fast, but he's going full speed backwards, and I'm giggling, but at the same time I'm like trying to hurt. It was a mess. So I'm really excited for advanced physical fitness because I get to do things that I really like to do that take me back to like my middle school days. Do you hate any of the teachers at Weaver? Again, I don't hate people, but there's definitely one teacher that I really don't like at all. And I can like think of her right now, and some of the Weaver kids, if you're watching this, you probably know who I'm thinking of, because not everybody hates her, but most people know that I don't like her at all. So yeah. And how do you feel starting sophomore year at a new house? It's kind of weird for me because now that I like think back on it, I've started like different areas of school in like different houses. Like elementary school, I was in one house, and then I started middle school at my old house, and then I started freshman year at my old house, and now I'm coming to this house for sophomore year. So it's kind of weird because it's going to be like a different family dynamic, and I don't know how it's going to be because like freshman year I kind of was we were all kind of isolated from each other because it was a bigger house, and now this house is a little bit smaller. So we're all going to be closer together, so I'm anticipating more fights between my sister and my mother about homework, but hopefully like I can do my homework in my own time and like keep my flow of how I do things going. What's one thing you would have changed about your summer? One thing I would have changed about my summer is how little like I decided to participate in things, because I don't know what it was about this summer, because the last 2 or 3 summers I like intentionally could not do anything. Like either my parents were working, or I was grounded or in trouble, or I just couldn't do anything because like my friends were allowed to go to like a shopping center and on their own, and I wasn't allowed to do that, and I didn't feel like being that one kid being like, is there going to be a chaperone, so I couldn't go. But this year, like I intentionally did not even ask my parents to participate in things because there were just some things I didn't want to do, or I just didn't feel like socializing, and I don't know why. So I would have changed socializing with my friends, because now that I look back on it, everybody had such a great summer, and I'm that one kid who was working for her dad and was training 24/7 and sleeping in, and like I would have liked to have done more things other than move a house and work and train. So yeah. Anyways, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed the back to school Q&A. For future Q&As, if I'm ever doing them, always just especially follow me or add me on Snapchat first, because that's where I look first. So add me on Snapchat and follow me on Instagram, and that's where you can like submit your questions and stuff. Anyways, so I'm still not going to be announcing like a schedule for every week of August, but next week is going to be a difference between charter and magnet schools and kind of my experience with both of them. Because I have never been to a real public high school. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. I was in a public high school from kindergarten to 2nd grade, and then I moved to charter school from 3rd grade to 8th grade, and now I'm in a magnet school. So I'm going to, like, I don't know, be discussing, like, like the differences and similarities in charter and magnet school, and like what my experiences were and like my favorites of each school. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next Wednesday.